If you're a giant Marvel fan, you might not like this one, but it turns out, despite the views, despite the likes, well, Avengers Doomsday, the trailer, is quite the snooze fest. Some might call it Snooze Day. Today, we'll tell you why Kevin Feige might want to panic a little bit, the Russo brothers too, because this is one trailer not causing a lot of conversation around the web. You know, folks, they call it engagement. How excited are people? How hyped are they? And I have to say, well, this trailer is not ripe for hype from the MCU. What's going to happen with Doomsday? People are watching it, but not a lot of chatter on social media. Not a lot of hairs on the edge sticking up straight and people saying, I've got goosebumps, I've got goosebumps. No, they're saying, well, we already knew all this stuff. All right, click that like button. Let's dive into the conversation right now. Oh, Avengers Doomsday has a trailer, and guess what, folks? It just might be a great big meh. Now, in terms of ratio, it's doing just fine. 2.1 million likes, 70,000 dislikes. It's got 170,000 comments, and it's been viewed almost 40 million times. By the time you're watching this, probably has been viewed 40 million times, but that doesn't mean necessarily that it's a hit. And why? Well, because it's just not that interesting. Let's go through it real quick and we'll see what's in it. We can't play the thing because, well, they'll get us. But we've got Professor X, we've got the Marvel logo, oh boy, we've got a lot of people that nobody cares about, oh boy. You know what, actually, how about we go to Gizmodo, because they break it all down for us and we'll just walk through it with them, since, again, Disney won't let us play the trailer here.
We also have Doom being like, foreboding things.
Yes, Natasha, get me Moose and Squirrel.
Still, let's go. We must report back to Fearless Leader.
That's right. We've got Gizmodo here. Jen Lennon writing this one. What's actually going on in the Avengers Doomsday trailer? Well, let's find out. All right, here's what we've got. Trailer opens on a battered sign that reads Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. You've got Professor X looking through at the incursion, blinds him, boom, boom, boom. You get the idea. Canonically, Doom is from Latveria, a fictional country in Eastern Europe. So we got that. Cut to a shot of Doom kneeling somewhere outdoors, flames in the background. Then we get this. Fantastic Four show up, and they join up with the new Avengers, I guess, which has to be the most lackluster thing ever. So already, not a lot of excitement here, Marv. These are characters that nobody cares about, and they are featured prominently in this trailer, including, if we go down, we get a lot of folks that nobody cares about them in the movie. They would care about Black Panther. They don't care about not Black Panther.
Well,
Marv,
when I watched this trailer with my wife, she had no idea who Namor was.
Yeah.
She was like, who's that? And I said, it's Namor. And she's like, who? And I'm like, you saw this movie with me. And she had no memory of it. They're really leaning hard on M'Baku also, I noticed. I think mostly because they know everyone hates Shuri Black Panther.
Yep.
This was the trailer that was given in a leak months ago. Like, it's the exact trailer down to the Gambit versus Shang-Chi and Doom catching the axe and all of that other stuff. Like, so this is a trailer that they've had ready to go for literally months. So the fact that we're just getting it right now and it still looks terrible is definitely saying something, because a lot of these effects look really half-baked.
Yep. I will say that, what is his name again? Is it Mark? Mark who plays Cyclops? What's his name?
James Marsden.
James Marsden. I don't know why. Listen, I know that name 99 out of 100 times, and it slipped me on that time. That does look cool, the Cyclops stuff. But I mean, every time they go to Disney Plus things, when we get Fantastic Four with Wakanda, when we get Loki from the TVA, you know, we basically at this point know, and you got the Thunderdolts hopping in, and it's just like, this is not what's going to get people excited. And haggard old Professor X and Magneto, that's not going to get people excited. At this point, we think that it's been leaked what's in the movie. I am shocked how much they're focusing on characters that might not be in the film very much. If I were them, I'd be focusing on, you know, the very few things that might win. And that, of course, well, I guess they don't want to spoil it, but it's already spoiled. Just go ahead and show it. Just be like, hey, you got Deadpool, whoop, up, and let's do the thing, right?
It looks like Saved by the Bell, the new class, but like for a special episode where like Zach and Slater come back.
That is the best description I have ever heard of this. That is a perfect description. Say it again, Marv.
Thank you. It's Saved by the Bell, the new class, in a special episode where Zach and Slater come back.
In other words, for those who never saw it, it's like when they tried to do a spinoff of Saved by the Bell in the same high school with different kids, and people are like, I'm not watching this. And they're like, but we got an episode where we bring back the real cast for one episode. That's what this is. That's a great point. It's a collective meh, Caro. I don't, and this is why I'm going to say it. People are going to be aggravated at us. They're going to say, well, it's got so many likes. It's got so many, there's not being ratioed. You guys just don't like it. Caro, nobody is excited. Nobody's talking about this relatively to what we should anticipate and expect. It's being met with just kind of like a, okay.
Meh. Yeah.
Meh.
That was my thought. So you mentioned that James was playing Cyclops, and that was like, oh, that might be interesting. And I was like, I'm still not going to go see it. I'm a big James Marsher fan. I really am. And even then, I'm like, nah.
So one of the big deals in the film, and I'll reshare this and get up on screen. One of the big deals they're trying to make everybody excited about is we get serious Thor. No, not you, Sue. Get off the screen. We're doing serious Thor.
We get Russo Thor.
That's going to be really jarring in the next one when he's a goofball again.
Yeah, Taika turns him into a doofus, and then the Russos bring him back.
And let's see, where's my clip? Here we go. Here's serious Thor versus Doctor Doom, and that's what's supposed to be the big deal here. The problem is the whole movie's been leaked already. I mean, we know the story from top to bottom, so it just removes all anticipation, and the scripts, if it is what it is, it's not all that exciting. So I don't know, guys. Lauren, Jonas, maybe I'm just being a Debbie Downer here, but this didn't do it for me. This needed something. It needed something that really caught people's attention, and an old trailer that's been out there for a month, just not officially released, that kind of confirms some of our worst fears and puts out a lot of the Z-tier characters.
Well,
I don't know.
The problem is there's no surprises with this film. They released the cast list months ago in the slowest, most boring way possible. So there's no real surprises in this trailer. We us as non-normies, I'm not trying to elevate us when I say this, or let's say we're hyper aware.
No, elevate me.
Yeah, well, Caro actually reads the comic books, probably not the more recent ones. There's so much in this that it's only disappointing to go through it, because Mystique transforming into Yelena, I don't have a problem with Yelena as a character, but it does feel a little forced after a while, like she's supposed to be the new it girl of the MCU. But there's nothing in here that makes me go, yes, I want to see that, because I'm going to have to see a lot of stuff that I'm not interested in seeing in order to get to it. I want to see M'Baku. M'Baku is hilarious in everything that he is in the MCU, but he's not talking in here. It looks like everybody's glowering, and all of the fun people glowering. I'm sorry, we already did that in Infinity War and Endgame. I've seen this Thor. He was in Infinity War. I don't want to see this again, because is he going to be Fat Thor in the next one? Is that what they're going to do again? Because they're screwing around.
Here's the perfect image for why I am not excited for this. Fantastic Four in the background, Ant-Man in the midground. You got Falcon, aka New Soldier, beside him. Thor over there. You've got Thunderdolts on the left, and it's just like none of this is exciting. There's not a new exciting character in this group. There's we've done this before. How many times do we have to do a movie where they all get together and plan out their attack, and now they're going to fight the X-Men all together? We have done all this. Do something new. Lauren, is this just the obvious result of a franchise that's been going on so long?
I've been actually debating that with myself. I've been trying to decide. The last couple of phases, I think, have abused the audience. That is a big no-no. They produced boring, preachy content. I have questioned, suppose that didn't happen and we were just after Endgame. What would you do? I think a lot of the times the problem with these kinds of movies is that you build up the team up so much, you keep elevating the potential threat to where it is so large, and it has to keep getting larger that it ceases to have meaning. And my thought when that happens is always go smaller and more intimate and more character driven instead of more characters, if you get what I'm meaning. But I don't know if even that would help this. Yesterday when we were talking about this, I had seen the trailer but not heard it. And so last night I watched it with audio to see if my opinion changed. And in a sense it did. But in a way it also didn't. The visuals, I think, are just meh. It's the same stuff we've all seen before. There's nothing at all new there. Once you've seen galaxy-spanning consequences, there's nowhere else to go. There's no more real spectacle that you can shoehorn in. I'm not sure what to make of Doom's voice. It was not what I expected it to be.
Terrible.
I don't know. I'm not willing to condemn it yet, but it didn't bring me on board. The one thing I did like, and this is kind of what you guys are saying that you didn't because you've seen it before, I like Serious Thor being back, and I thought that he brought gravitas to it. I like when Thor is taken seriously and centered, but I don't think that's enough. I think a cardinal sin that they're doing here, in my opinion, is there hasn't been build up to this. We're supposed to take that Dr. Doom is this gigantic threat on the level of Thanos, but we haven't seen Dr. Doom do anything. And you're telling us, you're not showing us. That's not ever a good idea.
That's it. That's it. You're right. Because in the trailer, you've got Thor saying, I have faced many things. We have blah, 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 blah. We survived. I have never been afraid as I am this time. And it's like, there was a 1 in a trillion chance you were going to beat, Thanos. I think that was pretty darn scary. And you're telling me you're more scared now. Like, I'm sorry, you don't get to do it that way. You can't ramp up anymore.
I don't think he's talking about Doom in that. I think that's an ad context quote. I think it's about the incursions.
Me too, because I think Doom is in the background of that scene, whether or not they've actually put him in that scene.
Yeah, because we think Doom works with them for the majority of the movie until the very end when they realize that the guy named Doom is actually the bad guy.
What a shock there.
Forget the quote, though. What have you done to build up Doom? Now, maybe that's what they're intending to do here, because we've got a couple of movies afterwards. But I don't know. He's coming out of nowhere.
So when I'm thinking back to the Infinity War trailer and how we all felt about that and how awesome it was, because even we had only glimpsed Thanos 3 times at that point. We had glimpsed him at the end of Avengers, we saw him in Guardians 1, and we saw him at the end of Age of Ultron, right? But the things that we had seen over and over again were the Infinity Stones. We knew. So when we saw in that trailer him break the Tesseract and pull the stone out of it, when we saw the Power Stone in the glove and him doing this in the trailer, that meant something to us. When we saw Corvus Glaive's blade coming down on the Vision's head trying to dig the Mind Stone out, these are all things that were built up and had been earned. Nothing in this has been earned. Most people have not even seen anything since Endgame, and now they're releasing this super special 7 minutes longer version of Endgame because they're trying to connect it to Doomsday, and I don't think it's going to work.
I think they hinted at Doomsday in Fantastic Four.
At the very end, he's standing there in the room talking to Franklin Richards.
But it's not anything that builds up the threat.
That was like they like he's there, but it's not like the cool way, because I know what you're talking about with like the Thanos glove, because I remember seeing that and be like, yeah, it's about to go down. But when he was in the Fantastic Four end credit thing, I was like,
Let me ask you guys this.
The big moment at the end of this is they're seeing Captain America, but they don't see Captain America because Captain America is an uptight guy from the 1950s with short blonde hair and usually a white T-shirt, something 1950 style. Instead, he's got the beard, so that's an unusual choice. He's got the long hair. That's an unusual choice. He looks pretty casual. That's not Captain America. That's Chris Evans. I'm sorry. Chris Evans being a character.
Huge problem.
I also need to point out something that I realize. If it's true that Captain America has been living in the Fantastic Four universe this entire time, I heard that and something broke in my brain, because it means that Galactus attacked and Steve Rogers did absolutely nothing about it.
Dude. Yeah, we're in all kinds of mental twists right now that are going to ruin. Anyway, let me say this, and that's a great point, Marvin. I wonder, and maybe this is where we wrap the conversation, see what you all think about this. Maybe the secret sauce that was the MCU was that RDJ was playing Tony Stark and people loved it. Maybe it was that they loved Captain America. Maybe Chris Pratt was another key part that came in a little bit later and made some special happen. And maybe we've removed some of the best parts of the MCU, and maybe there's no solving that now. Unless you have Tony Stark, unless you have Captain America, the real Captain America, unless you have Chris Pratt with the antics of Guardians. If you don't have those things, maybe you don't have the MCU. And maybe we're doing now a movie that somehow brought RDJ back to play a villain less impressive than Ultron. This could be a real disaster.
I think what happened before was they had consistency, right? Because like with Thor, like they had the Shakespeare company come in and work with the actors and give it like that old time feel, right? And then when they did Fat Thor, that was terrible. I really in Ragnarok, they completely went off script on that completely, and it just kind of ruined the character for me. And every time they deviate from what they did before, it's not actually funny or revolutionary. It's just it's cheap, right? And one thing that I have noticed since Endgame is that a lot of the storytelling that they are doing in this is they're taking shortcuts, and they're using story crutches a lot, because at this point, I think all of their actual writing talent and the people who are passionate about this, I think they're gone at this point. And they're trying to make as much money as they can before, you know, all the strings get pulled. But that's my take.
I think it's a great take. All right, folks, tell us your take, please. We'd love to hear from you. Is Marvel now missing the key ingredients that makes the whole thing work? Are we surfing in a souffle of suck now that the MCU is stuck with actors who either aren't playing their key roles or simply aren't around? We'd love to hear from you. And how can Kevin Feige ever turn this around? You know, one of the greatest things we get to do each and every day is speak out and reach out to folks who don't know how entertainment works. And frankly, we think entertainment matters so much. It's why we do what we do. And you can help us send this out to even more folks. Click that like button, share, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. And wouldn't you know it, folks, we're even on Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/WDW Pro. We've got to go, but until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.